Welcome to today's explainer on canine communication. We're jumping right in to translate a secret language that is literally happening in your living room every single day. We're going to decode these super subtle, incredibly easy to miss ways that dogs establish their social boundaries and uncover exactly why ignoring these signs almost always leads to conflict. If you've ever found yourself wondering what your dog is actually trying to tell you, you are in the exact right place. To kick things off, imagine a scenario where two dogs appear to be locked in a playful wrestling match or even a warm, affectionate hug. To us humans, it looks absolutely adorable. But, as we'll soon discover, canine body language can be incredibly deceptive. Often what looks like a mutual hug is actually one dog making a highly specific, desperate plea for personal space. And really, that brings us to the core question we need to keep in the back of our minds throughout this entire explainer. Is a dog asking for a hug or desperately asking for space? To truly get a handle on how dogs signal their boundaries to us and to each other, we have to completely rewire our brains and rethink how we interpret polite behavior. Because what means I love you in human language, yeah, it often translates to a massive red flag in dog language. Let's contrast two very different ends of the spectrum here. On one hand, you have dogs showing what experts call distance decreasing signals. Think bouncy, rocking horse energy, relaxed bodies, open mouths. They are actively shouting, hey, let's get closer. But on the other hand, you have distance increasing signals, often called cut-off signals. This is when a dog lowers their head, tucks their tail, and curves their spine away. That right there is a very polite, but very real plea for space. What's totally fascinating about these subtle distance-increasing behaviors is that they're formally known as calming signals. Dogs use these brilliant little moves to peacefully resolve conflict before it even has a chance to start. By just looking away, doing a random yawn out of nowhere, sniffing the ground, or doing a quick lip lick, a dog is communicating, hey, I'm no threat to you, or, you know what, I am feeling pretty uncomfortable and I need some room. Now, researchers studying these behaviors have zeroed in on a crucial component of this called the lowering of posture, or LOP. Actually, it's important to note this isn't just random cowering. It's a highly formalized, ritualized signal. When a dog purposefully drops down into a low, C-curve posture, they're explicitly expressing a subordinate, non-threatening status to actively avoid any kind of physical altercation. And understanding this brilliantly shatters a massive, massive myth in the dog world. We've all seen those viral videos of guilty dogs supposedly apologizing for getting into the trash, right? Well, prepare to have that illusion totally busted. That squinty-eyed, low-eared, tail-tucked look doesn't mean the dog knows they did something wrong. Not at all. They are actually just offering appeasement signals to placate an assertive, standover stare from whoever is filming them. It isn't guilt. It's a direct stress response to social pressure, just trying to keep the peace. So what happens if those polite boundaries, those calming whispers, are just ignored? Well, the dog is forced right up what experts call the escalation ladder. It starts incredibly subtly on the lowest rungs. A quick blink, a nose lick, maybe a yawn. If the pressure doesn't stop, they progress to turning their head and then turning their whole body away. If they still can't escape, they might be pushed into exposing their belly. And let's be clear, a belly exposed under tension is a high-stress appeasement plea. It is absolutely not an invitation for belly rubs. When you see a dog perfectly executing one of these lower ladder rungs, like utilizing a deliberate look away as an intentional cutoff signal, they're effectively pretending the approaching party isn't even there. It is this amazing, non-confrontational way of completely withdrawing attention. They're trying to de-escalate the tension and politely say, yeah, I'm really not interested in interacting right now. It's super common to see these signals layered together too. If you spot a prominent lip lick combined with a head turned completely away from a perceived threat and the ears pinned way low on the skull, you are looking at a highly stressed dog. They aren't being stubborn, they aren't being aloof, they are politely begging for the social pressure to just drop. They are whispering their boundaries. But here's the dangerous part. What happens if we or another dog miss those whispers? The ladder escalates rapidly into a critical pivot point where appeasement has officially failed. The dog's body goes from soft and curved to a stiff, rigid freeze. From there, if the boundary is still being pushed, it moves to growling, snarling, a warning snap, and finally, as an absolute last resort when literally all earlier communication has been ignored, a bite. Make no mistake, any dog, no matter how sweet or well-trained, will eventually display this level of intensity if pushed too far. You'll see a hard, fixed eye, severe wrinkles over the muzzle, and fully bared teeth. This is part of a protracted warning sequence, and it's so vital to understand that even this terrifying display is explicitly designed to avoid actual physical contact. It's basically a megaphone shouting, "Back off right now or I will be forced to defend myself." In a truly hostile exchange where boundaries have completely and utterly broken down, the body language changes drastically from anything friendly. You'll see a rigid stance from both parties, puckered lips pushed forward, and what's famously known as a whale eye, where the pupils are dilated and you can clearly see the whites of the dog's eyes. You might even see a fast lizard-like tongue flick instead of a slow, calming lip lick. The tension is just palpable. The core of this entire boundary problem is, frankly, a tragic language barrier between our two species. Just think about it. What humans consider polite, making direct eye contact, walking straight up to someone, offering a warm hug, is actually deeply, deeply confrontational in canine language. Essentially, our polite human hello translates directly into their prepare to fight. True canine politeness involves approaching on a curve, actively looking away, and avoiding direct stares to show respect. Take a look at how most people greet dogs, looming directly over them and reaching down. To us, it's friendly, right? We're saying hi. But to a dog, this standard human greeting is a massive, looming threat. Honestly, if dogs could miraculously change one single thing about human behavior, behaviorists pretty much universally agree it would be this exact greeting style. It violates literally every rule of canine etiquette. And the wild thing is, even with the absolute best intentions, our body language often screams, "I am dangerous." An owner might warmly say, "Come here." But if they lean forward, stare directly, and reach out, they are accidentally adopting a predatory stance. It creates this invisible buffer that actively repels the dog. They might really want to obey, but our physical pressure is triggering their deepest instincts to just stay back. Ultimately, when dog conflicts do erupt, whether that's with humans or with other dogs, they're almost never about inherent bad behavior or a mean personality. It's so much deeper than that. They stem from underlying issues like over-arousal, hidden fear, the totally natural instinct to guard resources, or, most tragically and commonly of all, completely missed communication signals. So I want to leave you with this. The next time a dog subtly turns their head away, yawns, or just does a quick lip lick when you reach for them, ask yourself, are you respecting their polite boundaries, or are you forcing them to climb that ladder toward conflict? Are you listening when they whisker, or are you waiting until they have absolutely no choice but to shout? Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Keep observing, keep learning, and we'll see you next time.